Hey, what's up? It's your boy 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media. And and I just wanted to just come back, do this live stream. Basically, I'm supposed to have been on about maybe an hour or so ago. But I had to basically check out and try to do a few adjustments to make the picture and everything else have a little bit more clarity. What's up, Steve? It's 3 o'clock in Vegas. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock here in Houston. So I'm still at work. I'll try to listen in as much as possible. Yo, man, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, bro. Man. So we got Steve in the house. That's what's up. And yeah, I'm just over here gonna run through a few videos, check out a few things, see what's happening in pop culture between yesterday and today. Just kind of browse through, see what's interesting, and touch on it. Yeah. So let's say here to start it off, there's some Deadpool 4 leaks, and it's about a 3-minute video. Wanted to see what the leaks were about. So let's do this. Yeah, and this is a comic book cast. So like I say, normally the takes here are decent. So let's go.
So we know that Deadpool 4 is in development because it was confirmed by Ryan Reynolds. So let's talk about the first alleged details on what they're aiming to do with this film, which sounds like, a sort of softish reboot, if you will, but not a reboot like the way you think of it, because people can't understand what a soft reboot is.
A reboot, a soft reboot. I don't know. I find that very interesting. It's funny. I could see this being in the sense, I haven't watched this video, but let's say we can just run with this scenario without watching the video and just say what can possibly happen if he's saying this is going to be something like a soft reboot. Could it be a thing that since the Marvel Cinematic Universe is about to actually go through, you can kind of what's about to happen with Marvel? They're about to basically go through a Big Bang Theory. Cinematically, a Big Bang Theory. And basically, who knows what's going to stay the same, but there's going to be from what I'm understanding, quite a few things changing. It's going to be more of a unified universe with all the players being under one roof, with the potential to actually have more of a cinematic universe than ever. Why? Because now you control it all. You have access to it all. And I couldn't see certain characters not have, let's say I couldn't see like, I couldn't see like the Russo brothers not having free reign of all the heroes available. I couldn't see why not. What's up, Steve? He said, you should have some guests on to discuss this stuff. It's probably it'll probably grow your channel. See, now actually, I was already gonna try to do that. The thing is I figured out that using OBS, you have to download like a different part. You have to basically download something completely separate and then attach it to the browser and then use that to send out links to people. And, you know, it's a whole nother thing that, shit, I'm thankful I got this far. You know what I'm saying? So, but I in the next, like, actually, because I was going to actually, I looked that up yesterday. And, you know, between like now and the weekend, I'm going to go ahead and whatever the fuck that thing is, I'm going to download it, attach it to the browser of the OBS. And then that way I could send out links and have people come in and you know, be windows and all kinds of, yeah, it's just, I just didn't know. I thought OBS did it all by itself. And from what I understood, OBS doesn't. Like, so it'll let you live stream. It'll let you do all that other shit. But if you want to call other people in, there's this separate thing that I would have to like just down. And it's free. There's a thing I have to download for free and then configure that into the OBS. And the thing is, I'm just not figuring out the OBS. So that adds something else, you know, might be giving your boy a little test, but you know, it's something I'm gonna have to do. So like I said, I looked it up and I was like, well, damn, how do I? And then, so the thing is, I was looking up to see if OBS did it, and after all the looking and searching and everything else, OBS doesn't do that. You have to go download some other shit that does it for OBS. And I was like, okay, but this is free, and I can't complain with free. So, you know, it's difficult to figure out. And I ain't gonna lie to you, but I'm here. So shit. But yeah, man, good idea though, man. Let me see. Sorry, I can't type. You talking about like Mark D with a C? Yeah, that's my boy right there. Or Nick Weiser. Yeah, that's my man right there too, man. Good dudes, man. I love both of those dudes, man. It's too bad Clobby isn't still here. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was thinking about him the other day, man. They should call it old bullshit. Yeah. Yeah, man. I miss Clobby, man. But yeah, man, I plan to have some people on soon. I trust that, man. But yeah, I find this interesting. And you know, I guess my whole point of what I'm trying to say with the whole Big Bang Theory with this is that Deadpool's probably going to be probably one thing that he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to worry about being recast, because I don't see anybody that can come in and do Deadpool like him. And while he can still do it, they need to hold on to him and allow him to do it. Now, with that being said, it's like with the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe basically going to be rebooted to have probably younger actors, maybe some the same, some's going to change, but younger actors or whatever the case is going to be to play the roles of all the heroes involved at the end of it all. So basically it's like I could see Deadpool having a soft reboot to like allow me to reintroduce myself. He's still, you know, like basically being himself, but being in addition to the reboot that the rest of the MCU is going to have. So basically everybody's doing the whole reboot thing at the same time. So, and that's with him like coming in and being a part of it. And basically, from what I'm understanding, he's having a big part in what's going to happen with the multiverse as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how how this thing goes. So it's awesome, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's see how it happens.
Do you guys remember how accurate reports of what the upcoming, or at the time, upcoming Deadpool 3 would be were available online a good while before the film actually started production, and we even got the confirmation of Hugh Jackman returning?
Yeah, I remember how this movie started making buzz when people were getting like hints and leaks and that old grapevine shit. Hey, I heard this, I heard that, and then there was more like, Hugh Jackman's going back into the gym, he's working out, this and that, and it's like, and it's crazy because then right about that time was when he broke up with him and his wife divorced, which was unfortunate or whatnot. So I'm glad they finally went full spandex. You know what, man? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm happy for the same thing. Let's say, let's give the X-Men for an example. Especially like when they did like their last movie and they were all of them wearing the whole, like the same black fucking suit. Hugh Jackman wouldn't dare put on a Wolverine suit. He just wanted just to be, hey, tease up my hair and put some claws on me and let me do what the fuck with, a t-shirt and some jeans on or whatever the fuck. Like, that shit got so played out. It's like everybody, like, it's like they want to have the powers. They want to have, like, let's say a haircut or some shit, but nobody was fully committed to actually fucking looking like the actual hero. And I don't know why everything has to like deviate for some way, and again, some of it's the actors, giving the actors too much power or to choose. And then basically from what I understood, even when they did the original X-Men movies, they were actually given all the suits. And who was it? Bryan Singer or whoever the fuck, or whoever directed them, looked at everybody, all the actors wearing all the original suits from the fucking cartoons and the comic books. He looked at all of them and was like, that looks ridiculous. Take that shit off and let's blah, blah, blah. And then everybody started wearing like, that's why Hugh Jackman always wore regular fucking clothes. And the closest they wore to outfits was when they had all black. Black leather, whatever the fucks, man. So I don't know, man. So I guess with that being said, it's like looks so much better than the motorcycle leather. Exactly. That's what I was saying. And the thing is, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. And this is how they know that they fucked up, because when Hugh Jackman showed up, suited and booted, and I mean wearing the real, especially look, he had the outfit on, and people were like, "Oh shit, look at him," and he looks good with the suit. But do you remember when he actually put on the hood? When he went like towards like the middle, like the end, he ends up putting the actual mask on for the first time, and you're like, holy shit, man. To see Hugh Jackman finally put on the fucking mask for once had everybody in that whole shit moment. Why? Because that's what everybody wanted more than the director didn't want it. But did he really know what the fans want? Nah, not really. You know, now people are figuring it out. You know, it's like it's like you trying to have these, you know, superheroes be super but without looking super. So it's like, okay, you like if look, it's like basically if motherfuckers could get away with putting Superman in a t-shirt and jeans and a cape or whatever the fuck and try to make a Superman movie, I think they would try to. You know, it's like, but it won't. It don't work. It didn't work in the comic books, and they tried that for a while. So exactly at Spider-Man, Superman, yeah, Batman. The suits all look great. Yeah, exactly. You know, and I mean, of course, as fans, we'll sit there and argue which Batman suit looks better, but then you have, you know, you have a good selection to choose from as to, you know, which one you think is the best and why. You know, yeah, I mean, if you have that many, you know, lined up, yeah, of course. You know, and the thing is, let's say like for Spider-Man, even for all the suits, does anybody even throw in the original suit from the 1970s with the metal shits? You know? Yeah, man.
Now, I'm not talking about like scoop or nonsense. I'm talking about just a random report that one day popped up on Reddit, and then nobody believed it. And then after some time, it turned out to be very accurate, including the description of Ant-Man's corpse, or Giant Man's corpse, if you will, and all that. Well, recently, an interesting piece of content, I guess.
What, coming from the same source that nobody believed? I could see that.
Popped up in regards to Deadpool 4. So we know that Ryan Reynolds is developing Deadpool 4.
The costumes just amplify everything. Of course, you're right. And the thing is, you know what's crazy? It's like if people take a chance on saying, "Hey, look, we're gonna take this thing and we're gonna make it into a movie," right? For whatever this said thing is, and whatever this said thing is famous for, why wouldn't you want to project whatever this thing is famous for onto the big screen, into your movie, and show that for, you know, for all its glory? Why? Because it's the thing that got the said thing famous. Whatever it is, whatever attributes this thing has, it's like you know, it's like, why would you take away anything or try to add more to it just to, like, you know, either to fuck it up or you're either gonna fuck it up or you're not gonna make it what it's supposed to be. Instead of, you know, and it's funny because when these studios have all the resources to give somebody, you know, to give the fans something they'd want to watch, it rarely comes out to be that way. Well, at least nowadays, in the last decade or so. At the least.
He confirmed it. And reports have suggested that the film is going to be set in the MCU after the events of Avengers sequel.
That's what.
So the brand new details that popped up online briefly state that the idea for the film is for Deadpool to be sort of finding his way in this new world, and that he's not sure about what he has has to offer in a world where all the heroes are legit heroes, and he sort of feels out of place in it. And he just
That's interesting.
can't seem to be taken seriously by anyone, and that he wants to better himself. So what's going to happen is that apparently
Okay, so, well, I guess I got it right to a degree. As far as like, I could see it being where if it's going to be a soft reboot, the only thing that would make sense, because why would Deadpool reboot it? Why would Deadpool even? Why would the whole thing of a soft reboot or reboot at all have to apply to Deadpool at this point? And then the only thing that made sense was, hey, probably just to be a part of what's, this new shit with the MCU. Deadpool, this next movie goes along with it. So as they do well, I tell you what, with the MCU, that's not going to be a soft reboot, for what I'm understanding. It's going to be a hard reboot. So whenever that shit goes down, some actors ain't coming back. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be all kinds of little weird shit happening. But I could see his next movie I didn't know it was going to be about him trying to find his way in the new world. I wouldn't. But I could see it. But the thing is, what I could see is him, like, I could see it being like him and everything, like X-Men related, like the fact that he can basically after this he should be able to have any X-Men in his movie. I'm gonna be honest. So I could see him like trying to adjust himself to being around all the X, like being a part of that world, being a part of that family, or being like a mutant with all of them involved. And then along with all the other heroes, and him being a part of a cinematic universe. Now that's really what it is. Now that I think about it, it's Deadpool basically adjusting to a new cinematic universe, a rebooted one at that. Okay. Well, the thing is, I guess I'm trying to figure is, why would he feel anything about it if he's a part of it? Which kind of makes me think he probably remembers his old past. And that could be a thing. Because why would he have the pressure of being around the new heroes and all this other shit in his newly rebooted universe, cinematic universe, if he remembered what it was before the reboot happened? So now that the reboot happened, he was doing his thing before the reboot. Then afterwards, he's trying to figure out where he fits in. Why would it matter? It would matter if you remembered. Because if you don't remember, then why do we have this storyline? And if this new cinematic universe is supposed to play out like everything is, like if everything has been going on the way it's been going on, then why should he feel something about it now? Because like in the comic books, if they do a reboot, like that kind of shit in the comic books, if everybody's basically continuing where they left off, but basically in a United Cinematic Universe, which is what it all is, You know, you taking what, Fox, Sony, Disney. You know, you taking already built characters from so many different franchises, from different, you know, from different fucking movie companies, and you're putting them all together in yours to create something even more whatever. Because we don't know what that's going to look like, but that's what it is. That's what it's going to be.
He goes and talks to some of the Avengers, some of the other people, and they're like, "Look, Wade, you mean well, but you're just not there yet." And there's other people that aren't there yet either. They're sort of rejects like you. How about you guys do something? And essentially, Wade is going to put together his own team. Sort of like, I guess you can call him a new X-Force, if you will. And the big idea is to grow all these characters together and sort of have like a reject team of X-Men.
You know what? I could understand the premise of all this, but why does it necessarily have to be that? You know, why couldn't it be something that's, I don't know, maybe already established in the comic books? Sorry about that. It's just dogs next door. But yeah, this is I don't know. I guess every time we see Deadpool from now on, he's got to have a whole cast of heroes with him. Yeah, I guess,
Led by Deadpool in the MCU that are operating behind the scenes, taking on smaller tasks and jobs and missions, and trying to prove to everybody that they should be taken seriously, that there's more to them than just jokes and, being the butt of jokes.
I wonder who these X-Men. I wonder who these characters would be. See, the thing is he's saying a young group of X-Men or whatever. So if he's talking about a group of X-Men, then why did he go to the Avengers instead of going to like the real X-Men that are all going to be there in the cinematic universe? I don't know. That's weird. But I get it though. I guess after we watch Avengers Doomsday, and then we watch Avengers Secret War, we'll see that Deadpool is probably cool with a lot of the Avengers, and there's going to be moments, and there's going to be, so the basically what doesn't make sense now will make sense in the next 2 years, 3 years, or whatever, of him going to all these people. So I could see that. Just saying.
Honestly, if that's the way they want to handle it, I think that that's the perfect way to take a Deadpool 4 in the MCU. Sort of like a reset. So yeah, I would be quite hyped for this. It sounds like, again, if this is true, it's a back-to-basics Deadpool, post-Secret Wars, new status quo, let's see what everybody's up to, let's see the world. That's pretty great, all things considered. So I would definitely...
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea. Hopefully, whoever, if this is going to be true about getting, I could see him with a couple people, but if he's talking about getting a whole team of, hopefully there's some cool fucking heroes. Give us somebody we haven't seen and that we wanted to see. Put him in the real suit, and I don't know, a ragtag group of X-Men. I don't know what that is. I mean, when I collected the X-Men, there wasn't a ragtag group. Maybe there is now. There's so much X-Men shit. I don't even keep up. Honestly, I don't give a shit about the new X-Men in comic books. Just being real.
Definitely be excited for this film and to see where they take the film. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your continued support. Feel free to like, share.
Yeah, man, I like this, man. You know, yo, is this real? Is this real?
So it looks like the writing is on the wall for the future of WB.
2 hours ago.
Franchises like In Development with Arkham Reboot, The Future of Injustice, and of course Mortal Kombat. On top of this, let's toss in Hogwarts Legacy and others. Because as we're finding out, Paramount is going to be cutting costs. And just like their in-house properties, they want the license out, and they're throwing out and getting rid of the game division.
Yo, what?
Chances are you know of WB Games and their massive push.
Are you fucking serious? No way, man. Yo.
Put out tons of great video games, and I would like to guess they have.
WB Games, RIP, man. That's a blow right there, man.
Recently had a couple of misses, which includes Mortal Kombat 1. As much as I love that game, it was a huge financial miss. Hogwarts Legacy was a big deal that sold more than they expected it to, but of course they had two Batman / DC based games that flopped: Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights. And well, the Batman IP itself, they tried to reboot or continue Arkham 3 times. That all fell apart after years of development.
You know, the reason why is because they decided to go woke with all their shit. And not to just say, okay, well, you know, let's just throw that word in there just for the sake of using it. But honestly, that's what happened. You know, like, how you going to have a Gotham game without Batman? Oh, let's kill him off and then have Robin, Nightwing, and Batgirl fucking run around and do all this shit. That ain't going to work. That's not going to work. So this is crazy. I'm just not seeing this shit for the first time. We lost WB Games because of this shit. Ain't that something? Well, fuck it. I mean, if it wasn't going to go anywhere, but at least let somebody take over the studio, do some shit. Just don't throw it away. Get rid of the people.
Well, in a recent outline and update on getting rid of debt.
So getting rid of debt, does that mean they're selling off the studio? Now, the only thing I can think of is if they're trying to say that WB Games isn't profitable at all, then I guess.
Paramount laid out plans, divisions, and things that are going to change, and how they're aiming to cut out specific divisions, and how they're going to offset almost $70 billion worth of debt that they're going to have once they acquire WB. And among these listings, mentions, and what their plans are, is that Paramount has no intent on focusing on video games, and that they are aiming to offset about $16 billion worth of debt, which includes the gaming division, which they don't see as profitable.
Holy fucks. See, and you know, the thing is, it's like, if I'm not mistaken, and I mean, Steve, you know, anybody else is listening, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, I thought video games had to be the most profitable entity in entertainment. In video games, you can make more money in video games than movies, cartoon. Sorry, maybe I'm wrong, but from what I even understood is the gaming industry. You making more money in the gaming industry than even prostitution. So, with that being said, with all the money that's made from games, you're gonna fucking jackknife your gaming division when the possibilities of making man, this shit is wild. I don't even know what to say.
Which again, if you pay attention to what Paramount does with their own IPs and video games and all that, is licensing it out. They don't do the in-house stuff like other studios do. Which again is something that we've seen recently, as Disney did the same thing. They used to have in-house development, but they backed out as it worked.
Yeah, but the thing is like, okay, so with Disney, for an example, they had LucasArts, right? LucasArts was the shit. I still love LucasArts games. I love LucasArts, Star Wars. And the thing is, they did more than just Star Wars games. But man, their games were good. Very good. And I don't. And so basically, they butchered their own video game division. And that's the same thing's happening with Warner Brothers. And I mean, yeah, I could see it, okay, because of the last two, the two failed, what's that, Gotham Knights and the other shits. So I guess it's to the point that if they're going to do this with their gaming division, what happens to the comic books?
Wasn't financially sustainable because they couldn't manage it. And with video game costs ballooning and AAA video games costing $200 to $400 million and 5 to 7 year development cycles, you can see how it's a risk for them, and they want out. So what's being reported is that expect that the gaming division will be sunsetted. More than likely sold off to whoever wants it, if anybody wants it. But we know that AT&T tried that, and we know Discovery tried that. But people don't want to buy the developers if they don't buy the IP, but the IP is going to remain with Paramount. Meaning that they're just going to sunset the game division, and then it's game over. Maybe possibly restart with that license to somebody. Who knows who? But then that would effectively mean a straight up restart on everything because contractual BS. Thank you for checking out that video, and thank you for your...
Wow. That was something else. That was something else. Man. You know what? At this point, whatever WB games are out there to be bought, whether it's on PC or your physical media or whatever. I guess at this point, they're not going to make any more. They're not going to print anymore. This is it. Whatever you can get your hands on, go ahead and get it. When it comes to all your favorite WB games at this point. I mean, and the thing is, whether you buy like secondhand or whatever, it don't matter. Just try to get your, just try to get your, wow, that's just crazy as shit. Man, I seen this. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I thought this was pretty interesting. Um, it looks like they're gonna have like a Firefly reunion.
It's time.
I thought I would see you.
And here I am.
So, what's happening?
Oh, it's happening.
Are we doing this?
Oh, we're doing
Oh wow. Does this mean it's time?
it. It's time.
I thought I would see you.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. So, it looks like it looks like we'll be getting a Firefly reunion, and I love Firefly. Damn, it's been a long time since I've watched it actually. I'm gonna have to check it out. Yo, if there's any Firefly fans in the house, let me know. Man, I gotta be careful what I watch on. I gotta be careful about what I watch on X, man. Like no shit. Got to be very very careful with that. Got to be very very careful with that. So. It's crazy. About maybe 4 years, about 4 or 5 years ago, I ended up getting a God of War game, and God of War is very interesting game. I just found out that they're actually coming out with a God of War series. And I'm just catching wind of this. So it says here, this is coming from Variety as well. Says God of War creator says TV first look is so dumb and terrible, looks like he's shitting in the woods. And actually, this looks bad. Now I'm gonna tell you my problem with this. My problem with this is one thing. If you were going to make a God of War show, why didn't they create the show with the character as he was since the beginning? And that's what I don't understand. So basically, from my understanding, because I haven't played any of these God of War games with him being with the kid, from my understanding is he has a son that, and I hate this with all these characters. So he's had a son like in the last 5 by 10 years in video games or whatever, and when they start off this God of War series, They start him off with already having the kid. See, the whole problem is, a lot of people, they're not feeling this dynamic of it. And, that's a thing that I've seen quite a bit, from even in comic books. It's like everybody has kids now. And honestly, it's like the characters or that dynamic hasn't been good for the character. Not to say that it's been like that for all, but it's been like that for some. And it doesn't add any value to the character now that you've attached a kid to the character now. Some people find it stupid. Me, I don't like it, because I don't know. It just feels like they're just there one day. And after like these characters start having kids, it's like that whole thing is permanent after that. The only time that it wasn't permanent was with Aquaman. But that's for another story. Wow. So the creator of God of War thinks that the first image from the show looks bad. And actually it does. This shit looks real bad. So creator David Jaffe, the creator of the God of War video games, looked at his YouTube channel on Saturday to slam the first look image from Amazon Prime's upcoming God of War TV show. He said the frame, which features franchise hero Kratos in the woods with his son, was so bad in so many ways. Wow. He says, I'm sure everybody's trying real hard, but it's so dumb, Jaff said. But let's be incredibly clear, okay? Two things can be true. This can be a terrible image, and that's it. It's so bad in so many ways, which we'll talk about in a moment. And Ron Moore's awesome, which is the showrunner. This guy is a juggernaut of a talented fellow. I have absolutely no doubt it's going to be a good show. So Ron Moore is doing it. I can't remember what he's done. Jaff added that he doesn't mind that star Ryan Hurst isn't a dead ringer for Kratos, but instead takes issue with his expression and pose in what he described as a dumb fucking image. Wow, so the creator of God of War, he just got based with that shit, and actually it looks bad. Look, if that's the first time you're ever gonna see God of War, especially let's say for the people that have never seen it before, they don't know who Kratos is, they don't know nothing about the video game or anything like that, because as we all know, when there's something new that gets put out there, whether it's a new movie, a new video game, or a new TV show or whatever, you put it out there and you're going to have more than just the people that follow it go check it out. You're going to see people are going to be like, hey, what's this? This is called the God of War. Never heard of it. Hell, let's watch an episode and see what it's about. And people do that. People do random shit like that and give things a chance. And it looks like in this case, there's going to be people that's going to give it a chance. Well, they'll look at it and try to give it a go. But for this to be the first introduction, for it to be this image, no, that ain't going to work. It says Kratos in that pose with this expression, not the guy's face, but this expression. He just looks stupid. Jaff explained, if you're going to reveal to most people a brand new character that you hope is going to carry your series for the first time, and they've never really seen this before, and this is the way you introduce them? Wow. He continued, maybe that's conscientious or whatever. Maybe they're like, well, that's what we really want to focus on is the father-son story. And if we focus on him being like Spartan rage and all that, maybe people are like, I don't want to watch this show. Okay, maybe. But then at that point, could you find a picture that doesn't look like he's shitting in the woods? Because that's what the picture looks like. Wow. Yeah, he's going in on him. Yeah, he's going in on him on this one. Actually, God of War is a great game. And I'm not talking, like, I don't know nothing about the new ones, but the old games when Kratos was by himself, those were great games. To be honest, when I saw that he had the beard and he had a kid and all that, it made it very uninteresting to me. I wasn't interested in playing it. So, that might sound crazy or whatever, but but I wasn't interested in that. So, yeah. But I don't know. Maybe it's different for other people. I'm not sure. So this is his. Okay, so this is the creator of God of War. Wow. He has his own YouTube channel at that. Well, I'll tell you what, I guess if this is an image, the show must be coming very soon. If this exists. So, do I care to see this? Probably not. It just reminds me of the game. Just looking at it looks boring. So I'm not with this. Now, I was floating through X, right? Moving on to the next thing, because, But I was going through X, right? And of course, love playing games, love Xbox, shit like that. And Grums, he's quite a personality. What's up, Zax? What's going on, man? He said, Ronald D. Moore is actually good. He's made, Battlestar Galactica and Outlander. That's what I was trying to, something space was what I was thinking. And for the life of me, I couldn't think of what he was attached to. Now that you mentioned BSG. Yeah. Okay. Nah, I know. Okay. All right. And he says Outlander is an adaptation, so it is what it is. Ladies like it. Yeah. Oh, all right. I appreciate that, Zach. Thanks, man. So, not gonna lie though, it still got bombed on by the I don't like that whole dynamic, man. I just, I don't know, man. I think they should have started it off with Kratos by himself, man. But, if they're not trying to run people away, then what the fuck? I mean, at some point, Kratos is gonna have to do the shit that he did in the beginning, like in the first video games that introduced him. He's gonna have to do that kind of shit somewhere in the game. I mean, somewhere in this show. But now he's doing that kind of shit with his son. But the thing is, it's like, I don't know. It just seems like a weak way to do it. I don't know if they're trying to add like the kid aspect to it for younger viewers or whatever. Maybe that might be it. But I don't know. I find this thing interesting. It says Xbox files a patent for AI helpers to take control over your character to play challenging segments for you. They should have started with Kratos alone. Yeah, exactly. That was my whole point. They should have started with Kratos alone and then built him up. And then let's say, like, you know, depending on how far it goes, what happens if this shit really is good? You give him Kratos by himself for like 2 or 3 seasons, and then boom, you give him a kid. You know, let's say if you want to age him 10 years or some shit, you know, where, you know, like in the game, keep it active like the game. Because what happened in between, you know, you could probably still talk about some of that adventures that he had before he had the kid. But you look at the last game he had, and then look at the next game that they created where he had the little kid with him. You can make the show about the adventures of what he did in that in-between time. But it's like, shit. It's like, I don't know. It's like basically we're seeing Kratos in his old man phase. Now he's a dad. Come on, man. Like, fuck out. Let me ask you this. Do you think people would have liked God of War if this game started with him and the kid? Let's say if none of all the other shit they've done for like 20 years ago or whatever, like all like from the first God of War game, all that shit was scratched. None of that shit existed, and they started it off. The first thing that you get, this game is called God of War, blah blah blah. There's a guy with a beard with a little kid. Do you think anybody would be interested in playing that shit now? And that's the first God of War game that came out. Let's say with all the graphics, the kid has the bow and arrow. He's doing all the shits that he does in the game. This is God of War, and this a dude, you know, with a mustache, goatee, you know, Rick Ross beard, and a little kid with a bow and arrow. Nobody would play that shit. If the only reason why anybody even gives a fuck about it now is because of the history, if anybody cares at this point, I don't know. To be honest, I don't see nobody I know plays the new God of War games. And not to say I know what everybody plays, but the people I know don't play the new God of War games. They just don't. Man. Oh, very interesting. Xbox could soon feature integrated AI and human helpers to take control for your challenging segments. So basically what they're saying is, let's say you're playing a game and you get to a boss battle that you can't beat the boss. He keeps kicking your ass. You fought this motherfucker 20, 30, 40 times. And every time you go at him, he's fucking dusting you the whole time. Boom, boom, boom. You know, you don't know if you're close, da da da. He always gets you, do do do, and then you're frustrated. And some people get to that point, they don't want to play any further and shit. I've seen a lot of people. My kids, you know, used to quit a lot. And I try to break them out of that shit. Like, hey, man, because this is like, you know, my whole thing with the kids was, look, if you'll quit, give up, or cheat on something like a video game, you'll probably do that. You know, like, you know, you probably think it's easy to do that shit in other things in life, and you can't. I'm not going to start you off having that kind of mindset. So if you can't beat it, you try until you do. You keep trying until you do, and you know, you don't cheat to win. That's it. You know, and that's, and you know, and the one thing I tell them, look, if I can do it, you can do it. If you know, if daddy can do it, you can do it. Like, you know, not, you know, I know I could tell him, I said, I know I'm your dad, and I'm bigger, older, the whole nine, whatever. But it doesn't mean that I'm better than you. You know, you just gotta work on your skills. I didn't know how to do all this video game shit from the, you know, at first. I had to keep trying, and you got to do the same thing. So I used to just run that shit to him, but I never did have him quit. Like we didn't quit. So, you know, they're still pretty decent in video games now, to be honest. You know, but yeah. So that's interesting. Oh, Troy, my man. Yeah, Troy's cool. Gee, now AI replacing the games themselves. Soon AI will buy the games too. Yeah. Yep. Now AI is replacing the gamer. Just imagine you sat there, you paid $80, right? Because that's how much these new games are going to be going for. You sit there, you pay $80. You get to the point where you're playing the fucking, you know, you're sitting there and you're playing your controller, you know, and you get to a part where you can't beat it. Then you go into your options mode. You hit AI takeover. You sit back, watch the AI fucking fight and decimate the fucking enemy. And then once, you know, the AI wins the boss battle, then you hit the option in the settings, you know, you hit the start button and you go back, you log in, and then you continue to play from there. And that's what you pay $80 for. I bet you it'll be something like that. Or the AI will detect how many times you get your ass whooped at a particular point in the game. And it'll notify you if you want them to, if they'll notify you and tell you, hey, do you want me to take over? The AI will notify you and ask you, do you want them to take the game over for you so they can beat that level or beat that part or that boss or whatever the fuck and get you to the next level or get you, you know, over the hump, basically. Invention of people born lazy and scammy. This is the ultimate endpoint of 20 years of normie entryism into the video game hobby. Make games cinematic experiences, dumb them down to shit. Now normies want the game played for them, so they're literally movies. Wow, that's a hell of a perspective to have on that. And then what? At the end, take credit for beating the game? That's interesting. Here's how I see the human race ending. It becomes so stupid because it relies on a machine for its existence, but when it breaks, not only is there no one there to fix it, no know-how to survive without it. I'm pretty sure there was either a Star Trek or Stargate episode with this theme. Yup, I agree. This is crazy. What makes Dumb Souls good is learning to overcome challenges. It would be no fun at all if the game beat stuff for you or autopilot you to the next area. Damn. I don't think it would autopilot you to the next area. I think it would probably take over, beat whatever you were going against, and then probably see if they if you want to take back control once they got past that. Let me see. Application for patent submitted August of 2024. Asher Sharma became CEO in February of 2026. This is state patent for state management for video game help sessions. Wow. Well, looks like video games are now about to get some AI injection, so that when things get hard, they can try to beat certain levels or actually beat the game for you. That's pretty deep. That is pretty deep for me right there. Huh. What's up, memes? What's going on, brother? So, hey guys, what's going on? We're just checking this out. That Xbox Consume feature integrated AI and human helpers to take control over for challenging segments. So basically, when you can't, beat your, the boss in a boss battle, or, you can't get past a certain point in a video game, you probably, like I was telling them, you were probably gonna have to hit the start button and hit the little shits that lets the AI come in, take over your game, beat whatever's in your way, and then probably give control back to you. So, oh, they're doing that now? Yup. And yeah, matter of fact, it's funny because right here, this dude right here has the patent for it right here. The application for patent submitted in August of 2024. Asher Sharma became CEO in February 2026. And this is a patent for the state management for video game help sessions. So I think Raid Shadow Legends has an autoplay feature for a while now. Yeah. Actually, I seen that for like when my kids were when they were babies or whatever. On my phone, I used to have Smurf Village, and they love the Smurfs. I like the Smurfs too, so I got them on, playing. They were playing Smurf Village, right? And then there's a feature in that game that had like an autopilot to it, to where it's like, let's say if you're farming or whatever, you would normally like do it, you'd mess around and do whatever, and then they had a thing where they would kind of like hit like an autopilot kind of thing, and it would basically kind of play the game for you in a way. But I think this is something that something to that to that level, to what you're saying. But I think it'll be probably on a bigger scale, like probably beating boss battles, or getting past certain areas. My whole thing is, does this kind of thing would apply to like Call of Duty or whatever? Or is this like in single player mode, or is this something that would come on if you were playing it online? I'm just curious. Says auto battle has always been kind of a thing. Yeah. So what happens when AI agents start beating all the humans? Yeah, if they have the training data of a 10-year-old kiddo that Rob stomped the entire Smash Brothers world with Sora, it's over, brother. Yeah, man. Or maybe, like I was telling them, like maybe the AI could actually track, let's say, your game, and let's say if you get to a spot that you keep dying at, and you've played this game and you keep dying at this certain spot like 20, 30, 40 times, and then you're tired of the shit, then you hit the start button, you go to the AI mode or whatever they would call it, and you let the AI take that shit over, beat whatever, and then maybe you might sit there and let it continue to like fight its way through the whole game, or you can go back and take control of it. That's crazy. It says, I think this is the same tech that the military may or may not be using. Can't say. Look at the anime. So I totally understand. I remember Jay wiping like 26 times in the same beginning of a game. Oh, you mean Jay? You mean drunk? Yeah. It's like shit. After that, I mean, what happens then? It's like some people would just say fuck it, especially if nobody's watching. Nobody's watching. All right, let me go ahead and let me hit the start button and let the AI just fucking beat this shit for me real quick before the kids get back. And then the kids get back and it's like, yeah, man, I just beat the boss. Oh, Dad, you're the greatest. Oh shit. Yeah. That's your dad. I'm doing my thing. Yeah. Knowing the AI just did all the work for you and shit. I could see somebody pulling some shit like that too. Yeah, it was hilariously cringe, but Drunk 3PO may have enabled the tool. Yeah, for real, man. But then it could be achieved. It could be an achievement. I beat my own games. Yeah, I know, right? Shit, an Xbox achievement. Look at this shit. He said, this is cool for people with actual disabilities that would make finishing some levels impossible otherwise. But I'm going to be confused why anyone who is not disabled would pay extra money to just let an AI play the game for them otherwise. I agree. Said there a man finds some space for peace, and some chick always gonna come along to ruin it with her improvements. Why can't men just have nice things despite never asking for much? Wow. Oh, you talking about the old girl at the top of the picture? Who's that? The new chick that's working in at Xbox? I haven't seen what she looks like. I don't know if that was her. Weird that anyone cares if this is a selectable option. This is no different than Madden offering one button mode for many years, or any story game that's have a beginner difficulty setting that you can literally play without a monitor on and beat the game. I don't know no game like that. I don't know any game like that. Probably she had nothing to do with it. It takes a year or more to file a patent, but I agree that this idea gives people all the wrong incentives. Not AI companions in the game to aid the hero or form a party allowing you to lead a fellowship. Never that. Instead, we pay for a digital older brother to take the controller from us so that it can watch the 10 years of cutscenes in Metal Gear Solid 2. Wow, that's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. I remember my kids, giving me the controller, to a couple games, and then it's like I would beat the bad guy, and then show them how I did it, and this and that, and wow, that's a long time ago, man. A long time ago. Didn't Sony already patent this first? I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know. That's a good question. I can see this being good actually. Right now, devs reduce difficulty to keep the mass appeal. This could allow them a freer hand when planning out a game beyond nerfing or buffing enemies for the player. The fuck? I love watching all the cutscenes to games on YouTube. You know, actually, I've done that before. Final Fantasy, Advent, etc. I've done that before. I've sat there and watched the cutscenes to what was it? It was some game. This was like a couple years ago, man, and I was trying to figure out what the game was, was about, and I saw this thing, and it just showed all the cutscenes, and I was like, and it was like maybe it took like an hour and 15 minutes for all the cutscenes. It was a long game or whatever the fuck, and that's how long all the cutscenes took. Yeah, that shit was wild. But yeah, I've done the same thing too, man. I've done the exact same thing. Let me see. So innovative. Wow, AI helpers to take over your game. I guess this makes sense. And most games now have lots of bots. Hopefully your helper plays better than they do. So, wait a minute. Yeah, that's another point I made. So basically, like you got AI or you got NPC, whatever. You got that going on in the game that's trying to fight you and kill you. And then you're going to turn your controller over to one that's going to try to fight them and kill them? Like I don't know, man. I don't know. It just seems a little weird. Patent scope wipe. A feature that helps more people finish and enjoy games, grow the industry for everyone, including the people complaining. I don't know about that. Seems this would encourage developers to make missions that can't be done without a helper. Then everyone would lie about it, would lie about having used a helper to get through it. Wow, I wonder if that would actually happen. I wonder if they would actually make a game that would be so hard to beat on purpose. That way you can go ahead and buy the AI or have some kind of use for the AI helper. That's crazy. Wow, look at all it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people here. Is this real? You see this, y'all? It's from Geeks and Gamers. Let me see. National Treasure 3 in the works. Jerry Bruckheimer confirmed script progress. Okay, but is it going to have Nicolas Cage? Nicolas Cage will be on the hunt for more historically significant American artifacts because National Treasure 3 is officially in the works at Disney. The Direct has exclusively learned that Disney is developing National Treasure 3, and that comes straight from producer Jerry Bruckheimer, who told the site that the long-awaited sequel is coming along quite well and that the writers are working on the script for it. In 2024, Ted Elliott, who assisted the first two National Treasure scripts, said that he had completed the script for the third film. A year later, Bruckheimer said that they were getting close on National Treasure 3, and that he expected Nicolas Cage and John Turteltaub, who directed the previous two National Treasure films, to return. And while Cage had previously said there is no National Treasure 3, that was before Elliott had finished his draft for the script, and Bruckheimer teased Cage's return, so he likely meant that he was unaware of any developments on the film. Okay. Wow. That's some good news right there. That is some good news right there, man. Man, I was checking out this Shia LaBeouf. I heard that, he had an interview with Channel 5. So, is that the name of the... Let me see something here. Yup, Channel 5. So, yeah, I thought that was thought that'd be pretty interesting to check out. I know. Let me see. Oh, shit, my shit froze, man. Let me see. See something here. Did this shit freeze or what? Yeah, my shit froze. Fuck. See, all right, there we go, man. All right, I was about to catch a fit. Shit. Very dark. Nerdrati says, for the first and only time, I really hope John Campea is right about James Gunn leaving DC Studios when the merger goes through. Very interesting. Very interesting. Let me see. Man. Boy, I tell y'all what, man. I'm going to go ahead and take off, man, because I got a busy day tomorrow, but I wanted to come on and stream and show my face and say what's up to everybody. So hopefully, you guys have a good night. Y'all take it easy. Shit, be safe, y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace, y'all.